Yeah. Grr. Bow. Grr. Bow. Monthful Prophet. Man, bruh, listen. So, y'all know I've been doing the August D mixtape breakdown, but I had the notifications on for DKTV for the official breakdown. So I'm here for it, man. It's August D DAECHWITA? I'm not exactly sure. They're gonna explain it though. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but y'all know I'm here for it. I rock with these dudes heavy, so drop a like on the video, comment, subscribe, all that. Hold up. This song is hard,
You guys delivered another hard-hitting mixtape titled D2.
Okay.
First August D album, released in 2016, focused on the tough time Suga faced when he was a teenager.
Okay.
Suga's at a very different place now. He's much older and he's much more successful. And this album focuses on the changes of his feelings after becoming one of music's biggest superstars. It's a very honest album, and my personal favorite off of this is the title track, DAECHWITA. It's an ultimate flex track slash warning slash reminder with tons of historical references, so let's take a look into it.
It's a lit song. Fire.
Traditional marching music that was played when kings or royalty were moving about or important guests would visit, as well as when army would be marching. There are two main characters in this music video, a king Suga.
So that's dope. That's a nice little play, because army, okay, hold up.
And a bottom class Suga. We can see that the king Suga is a tyrant. He has everyone kneeling down with the faces down in the ground. And he beheads people who have complaints in this scene. You can see the Shinmungo here. People in the Joseon dynasty would hit this drum if they had something that they've been wronged. They'd hit this drum and the king or someone up in the hierarchy would come and sort out their problems. Except here, King Suga is killing the people who have such complaints and issues. But the bottom class Suga, with the help of BTS and army represented by the 6 other men and a woman in the scene, starts a coup. He drives up a car with the men representing BTS and also a cute painting of Bang PD. By the way, this painting has its origins in a Jungkook drawing of Bang PD. It's pretty funny. The King Suga sees this and gives a thumbs down and captures the bottom class Suga. The King Suga wants to kill him and does this graceful sword dance, which apparently Suga learned in 2 days. Meanwhile, bottom class Suga, blindfolded and tied down, starts headbanging, singing DAECHWITA. Remember how I told you that DAECHWITA was played when kings were about, or when the army would be marching? The bottom class Suga singing this is an announcement that he is actually the real king. He feels like he's the king.
Okay. See, I kind of took that from the video too. I kind of like, okay, that's lit. I like that.
Under the king, the very ones that were kneeling to him in the beginning are now joining Suga, headbanging with him. This DAECHWITA is also for them. These kneeling people are armies marching together with the bottom class Suga. At the end, the executioner who was supposed to take down the bottom class Suga actually frees him and gives him a gun. Bottom class Suga grabs this and shoots the king. I think the MV and the song is a metaphor for BTS and ARMY taking down the existing system and the ruling forces of the industry. The King Suga represents the system, the existing system, the few powerful companies that had control over the industry before BTS came to the scene. Bottom class Suga is Suga himself, in a small company with basically nothing, as if he was born into a bottom class, and winning the people over, eventually taking down the king with BTS and armies. I think Suga picked the perfect motif to convey his message. And if you look at the historical references, You'll be more amazed at how clever this all lot to unpack, but let's just start with this line. The Joseon dynasty, which is most likely where this song is set in, had a strict class system where there was a heavy discrimination based on which class you were born into. Okay. Slaves were not even considered human. They would be treated in cases their owners didn't have enough money, and they were thought of more as just things. Think about the mistreatment that BTS received earlier on in their careers.
Right.
They faced heavy discrimination due to them being from a small company, and they were mistreated. So it's easy to understand why Suga called himself a slave here. Slaves in Joseon were almost completely blocked off from advancing to higher classes. So for a slave to become a king is basically impossible. But Suga's saying he made it happen. The following line is a reference to Kwang Hae-gun, the king of Joseon dynasty in the 17th century. He developed paranoia while in power and notoriously became violent and reckless. Hence the line, "Berserk Tiger, Kwang Hae flow." But I think there are more reasons Suga referenced Kwang Hae in the lyrics, especially if you consider what his life was like. Kwang Hae-gun had a very roller coaster of a life. Originally, he was a war hero, defending Joseon against the Japanese invasion of 1592, one of the biggest wars in Korean history. His father, who was then king, had fled when the war broke out, and the 18-year-old Prince Kwang Hae led Joseon troops in the battlefield. Rarely at this time did kings or to-be kings go out into the battlefield themselves. So Kwang Hae, fighting with the people, won their hearts over, and there were movements to throne him as the king instead of his father. The father...
See, this is lit because I could tell, like, throughout this song how much deeper this song actually was just by the visuals. Like, I actually, like, believe it or not, I really, really like BTS a lot. So, like, I put people on all the time. And I was talking to the homie, and I was telling him about it, and I'm like, he shoots videos and stuff. So I was like, bro, you should look at this video because, like, a very, very good video. And he was watching, he was just like, damn, like, that's crazy. So, I mean, just so much stuff they put into it, like, it's lit.
He felt threatened by this, so he made a lot of political efforts to stop Kwang Hae from gaining influence. Eventually, Kwang Hae became stuck between two large political powers, and this struggle eventually made Kwang Hae go paranoid and become violent and reckless. Ultimately, he was dethroned after a coup. I think Suga somewhat relates to Kwang Hae as he himself had been through a tough adolescence, having to go out into the battlefield at an early age, just like Kwang Hae did. He was an idol with no money, from a small company stuck in an industry dominated by big corporations. When Suga started winning battles and gaining power, he must felt a lot of efforts from the existing big powers to keep him away from the throne, like what Kwang Hae experienced from his father when the people wanted him to become the king. Suga mentions putting his past in the rice chest. For many Koreans, the word Triju, or rice chest, is strongly connected to the tragic story of Sado Seja, which involves him dying in a rice chest. Sado Seja was the son of then King Yeongjo, and his father was extremely harsh on him, humiliating him and scolding him in front of others at a very early age. This became so severe that Sado Seja attempted to commit suicide a few times, but even then, he was treated terribly. He developed what modern doctors diagnose as bipolar disorder and began acting very violently. Eventually, the king ended up hating Sado Seja so much that he ordered Sado Seja to go into a rice chest. Sado Seja went in, and he was stuck inside for 8 days and eventually starved to death.
Oh my
Sado
God.
Seja had a troubled life, filled with being humiliated and mistreated, and mental health issues just not being understood. Suga has been pretty open about his mental health issues he had when he was growing up, and I think he relates to Sado Seja. He sees himself in it. He says he's putting his past in the rice chest. It's a declaration that he's putting the old troubled Yoongi, the Sado Seja Yoongi, behind and looking at what's on how he's now on the throne and he's better than everybody else. Suga directly name drops Bang PD and also takes a shot at other artists who do drugs thinking that they write better music while they're high. I won't name any names here, but I'm sure you can think of an artist, or a few artists for that matter, that will be at the butt end of this. Some in bigger companies.
A lot of people been telling me about that since that happened in that video, so yeah.
Ooh boy! The diss aside, this line is also a glimpse into Bang PD's relationship with BTS. In a typical company, it'd be extremely difficult to even mention the name of your boss this openly without putting the honorifics Nim, especially considering how much a veteran and how much older Bang PD is compared to BTS. However, Suga name drops Bang PD as if he was his friend. We can sense that there is a very close bond and assume that Bang PD is very democratic with BTS. The fact that Suga is talking of Bang PD so casually is a flex of its own to others, as it's a sign that BTS has become so big and valuable to the company that he's at level with. Interesting bit. Here Suga uses the Korean word hyunta. Hyunta is an interesting Korean slang that is used all around the internet. Directly translated as wise man's time, it is a word to describe the feeling you get right after you've ejaculated. Yes, ejaculated. And you feel no more sexual urges and you have a moment of clarity in your brain. You feel still, present, and sometimes disappointed that the short moment of satisfaction was all you got and you worked so hard for it. This slang originated from Japan, but it has become a staple in Korean everyday language, and it is widely used in everyday life outside of sexual situations. Usually in situations when you finally got what you dearly wanted and you wonder, that was it? Suga's saying he's feeling extremely happy because he has it all. He has money, he has clothes, he has everything he ever wanted, and there's nothing, no one above him. While this could be considered a small cry for help, I think within the context of this song, it's more of a hard flex. He's saying, others can only dream of what I have, but now I got everything and I feel bored and disappointed. But you won't know how I feel because you never had any of this. Top for the past few years, absolutely dominating, with a level of popularity that has never been seen in K-pop before. They're so dominant that it's sometimes easy to forget that they too had humble beginnings. In fact, more humble than most top artists out now today. They had to fight their way through discrimination, mistreatment, and humiliation. DAECHWITA is a reminder that this was where they started, and they took that system down. And it's also a warning that they have the resilience and the force to go through all of this, to go from slave to king. We all estimate more videos like this. Supporting us on patreon.com/DKDKTV helps us a lot. These explain videos get copyright claimed, thus we make no money off of them, 0 cents. So please consider supporting us on patreon.com/DKDKTV.
Go support them, man.
For just a cup of coffee a month, you can get exclusive content and also help us continue our careers. And until next time, bye-bye.
It's facts, yo. Big up to them. I really appreciate them. I actually tried to reach out to them to ask them if they were going to do this because I just wanted to know, like, if, you know, I would have probably made a video about it or something if they would have reached back. But I appreciate them, man, for real, because it's dope to be able to watch this and get this breakdown. You know, from a person that knows that culture very well. I mean, from that culture. So it's lit, man. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys too. Word up, you guys have been killing the likes, all that kind of stuff. So continue to do that. I appreciate it. We about to hit 20K soon. Mumfu Profit. Like, comment, subscribe. Tune in. Bow.